What's going on, guys? It's your boy Dusty, aka Ryan. Today we are going to be doing the second video of this series. We're going to be doing defensively, we're going to be doing how to stop the post. And offensively, we are going to learn how to stop a cover 2 but beat a cover 2. So let's get into it. So on defense, like I reviewed in my last video, there are different coverages. So in nickel, there are a lot of cover 2s and cover 3s. In cover 2, if they do a post, it's going to go right in between the deep zones, and then no one's going to be there to cover. So if you're facing a team doing a lot of posts and they're beating you that way, use a cover 3. And then, so let's say they're doing this play. I picked the one with the post. So since there's someone in the middle, they're going to cover the post. However, the only downfall to a cover 3 is there's less people to cover underneath. So let's say I think 18 runs a post, he's going to end up about here. But let's say you were running a cover 2, you'd have a guy with a coverage like right here and right here. So this area would be completely empty, and that's exactly how a post works. It's right in the middle. So let's say 88 did a wheel route and 18 did a post. In a cover 3, you got that covered. So in a cover 3, 88 does a wheel route, you still have that coverage. So the wheel route, you'd have this defender on the edge to cover the wheel, and you'd have this defender to cover the post. Or let's say you had someone out here and they did a streak and someone did a post, you'd have that covered. But in a cover 2, the safety would have to pick cover the post or cover the streak. So that's the downfall to a cover 2, but with a cover 2 you have more routes underneath. In cover 2, cover 3, and cover 4 are the main coverages. You rarely see a cover 1 where it's all zone. Normally in cover 1 it's pretty much just that one zone deep, and then it's man coverage. That's typically how it is, because cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, cover 2 and cover 2's the only really one that you can do man coverage, like just man coverage with. Cover 1 and cover 2 you can do man coverage with, but cover 2 you can do both. And cover 3 and cover 4 you can't really do zone. I mean man, my mistake. So I hope that explains to you why it stops the post. So if someone does a post streak combo or a post wheel combo, you can cover that. But the cover 3 will let the opponent get more routes underneath. So that's the one downfall. But other than that, the cover 3 is a pretty good formation because you cover the 3 deep regions. So everything deep you're pretty much going to get, because you have posts, streaks, wheels. You've got that covered, so that's why you run that. So let's go to offense. Okay, if your opponent is doing a lot of cover 2 and cover 3, or if your opponent's doing a lot of cover 2, the way to beat it, like I just explained, is do a post and a streak combination. So if you go to gun, if you use middle, high, low, there's a post and a streak. These other routes don't really matter. I'll just put them streaks. It looks like a cover 1. So it's a cover 1. So since it's a cover 1, the safety has to drop farther back. So even in a cover 1, a lot of the post is just still so underneath, because in a cover 1, the safety has to kind of drop back and let nobody behind them, because they're the only deep route. So because of the streak, they have to drop back that way, which allows the post to get open. So you pretty much just have, if it's man, you just have a one-on-one, and if the wide receiver wins the one-on-one, which he's doing pretty often, because I think they have a linebacker on him, the safety has to help with the streak. The streak is more of a threat than the post. But I'm pretty sure you could still get... Oh, that's sad. I'm pretty sure you could still get on... If you're playing someone in real life, if they have like a lousy corner, I'm sure you can still get... Yeah. If they have a lousy corner, or it's on a low difficulty or something, I'm sure you can still get it in there. So cover 1, it's really, you can take advantage of you can kind of take advantage of a lot. So that's how to beat a cover 1. Really just do a streak, so he has to worry about the streak, and then you have a bunch of underneath routes. Typically it's man coverage, primarily in the cover 1, so you'll be able to find just an open. See, he was an open there, he didn't beat his man, but typically you'll be able to find an open guy. Like the safety's dropping back, I got Hollywood Brown. So cover 1, you can take advantage of it pretty easily. So let's move on to cover 2. So right now this is a Tampa 2, so it's a cover 2. So this is a pretty good play because it has a lot of variety of routes. And if you want a different variety, you can always do a hot route. But in a cover 2, the safety's dropping, which leaves the post. See, since it's a cover 2, the middle is wide open. Because you saw the safeties just split to the deep routes. So they went to Hollywood Brown and Roberts. So see, the safeties, he didn't even cover that well, but he got to him. So that's his responsibility. So if the post beats his, if the post beats his man, you got it. And I think since it's zone coverage, if you saw this coverage and you know it's zone coverage, if you do an out, see, you got him even more wide open, because the guy who's initially like covering him in man coverage, see the guy lined up on him, he follows him in this post route, so he broke that one up. But if you send a route in his zone, he doesn't cover that as well. He kind of drifts in his direction, but he doesn't really cover him. So this play, really, you can defeat cover 1, you can defeat cover 2 because of the post. But it's not just this play if you have certain route combinations. It's just about the route combinations, not really the play. Because you can have the same route combinations in a different play. But that's how you defeat a cover 2. Okay, now we're we're trying to beat a cover 3. So this is a pretty disguised cover 3, because it looks like a cover 2, but if you see, there's a lot of shifting around. So the post isn't as open, because I had to lob it to get to that side, because Bobby McCain was about to come up and get it. So Bobby McCain's drifting, so if you time it right, you'll get it. But if they have a really good safety, they're gonna probably pick it, or at least break it up. He's just gonna drift over there. So you could get that, but once again, since you're not gonna burn anybody, because even if they're in press coverage, if you watch the corners, they're flying back. They're not even looking at the receiver, really, because it's a cover 3, because they're getting the deepest zone. They're not just playing. If you look at Square's cornerback, the guy who's lined up on them, see, the guy lined up on him, he just flew back, because that's his responsibility. And if you look, it was a nice coverage switch over there on the left side. Wow, I keep getting sacked. So there is a nice coverage switch on the left side, because the very left cornerback had the deep route, and the cornerback in the slot had the flats. So it was a good coverage switch. You might be able to get it in there if you throw it quickly while they're switching coverage. But so it's harder to beat a cover 3. But how to beat a cover 3 is do a lot of short routes, because they have less guys. They have way less guys down low, because they're firing 3 guys straight back. So if you hit short routes, they only have 2 people in the middle, whereas in a cover 2, normally they have 3 people in the middle. So because the deep routes, they're not really getting open. I mean, we have pretty good receivers, and we're playing on rookie, because I just wanted to show you this. So that's how you beat a cover 3. I would just say short routes. Just do a bunch of short routes. Take advantage of them. Because if they have a bunch of good safeties and cornerbacks, you're not really going to be able to burn them. Like, this is rookie, so I'm getting those catches, but if you're playing someone one, you're not going to get those catches. So moving on to cover 4, this will probably be the last thing. Or, yeah, so this will be the last thing for the video, cover 4. So let's get into it. So this is cover 4. So they have even more guys. Excuse me. They have even more guys that are just firing back. So this is like a cover 2. So I don't know how he got that wide open, because it's kind of like a cover 2. So the middle's gonna be more open, but you still have 4 guys deep. So instead of the safeties firing straight outward to get the deep routes, now the inner safeties are staying more between the hash marks and the number. So if you can get them between the hash marks, see, is this just a broken play? Because the safety's just, at first, the safety on the right just drifts with R1, and then as soon as he breaks, I guess that's out of his zone. As soon as he breaks, he's in no man's land. Like, between the hash marks is nobody's job. But because as soon as he breaks, he's running out of his zone. And before the opposite side safety can do anything, he's already double covering Hollywood Brown. See, he's just drifting immediately because he has nothing on his side, and by the time he realizes there's a post that just went in his zone, that that um that route that Brown's doing is just pulling him away out of the play. So that's another route combination. You could do 2 streaks in a post against the cover 4. You can pretty much do that against everything except the cover 3. Because really in a cover 3, there's going to be someone sitting right between the hash marks. So you can't really do a post. It's not as effective. So if you do 2 streaks in a post, normally the post is going to get open. But you could, since they only have 1 guy in the middle, if you did slants, like I'm going to do slants right here. If you did slants, it would be pretty good, I'd say. Because you have 1 person in the middle, and even then, I sent my tight end on a streak, and he backed off, so you could have done drags there. So, if you send the tight end deep, and then just do 2 slants with the outside guys, he's dropping back with the tight end, and as soon as you pass it, he's coming up, but you still probably got the pass off. Even against a top tier linebacker, he's not going to get there that fast. So I think you at least have a completion, but if he's sitting right there, he's still covering that route that's literally sitting right in the middle of his zone. So you can still get that off. So let's do a little review. So against the cover 1, you can kind of just take advantage of it because it's man coverage and you only have 1 safety. He's really not covering anybody. He's just trying to stay behind everybody. So that's how you beat a cover 1. So just throw right underneath the safety to get big. You can get big chunks of yards and still get away with it, even like where his zone should be, because he's just dropping to the deepest, just dropping behind everybody. In a cover 2, you can do a streak and a post, because the safeties will shoot out to the streaks. Against a cover 3, it's really the only thing you can do is do short routes, because they have the post, they have the streaks, they have all that locked up, but they only have 2 guys in the middle. So if you did this route combo, they only have 2 guys. So if you're patient enough, you'll have one of the slants open most likely, or even that little curl thing the tight end's doing. So that's a good combination, a curl and 2 slants against the cover 3. Against the cover 4, pretty much the same thing as a cover 2, because the safeties will just double cover the streaks, because as soon as he breaks, he's not going as far as the streaks, and by the time he comes across the middle, the other safety's already on the other side of the field. So if you just stick in the middle of the field, it's wide open. So those are just some route combinations, and so even this play you can use to beat pretty much every coverage. And of course against a cover 0, I would just do some short routes, that because it's gonna, if you see a blitz or if he's blitzing a lot, what I would do is I'd just drop back a good bit, and then since it's man coverage, do some plays that normally beat man coverage. So if you notice that you have like a 96 wide receiver on like an 89 cornerback, you can probably beat them with a curl and man coverage. So that's a way to beat a blitz. Just do like even a short curl like Ingram's doing. That was just unlucky because of the route combination. But if you send him that way, you can probably get that if you don't have someone right there. Because Hollywood Brown just his guy was covering him as well. But I'm sure, and just because even this, they're not bringing a blitz, so just look where they're bringing a blitz from, and normally they have a weakness there. So if they're bringing a blitz from the middle linebacker, look in the middle of the field. But if they're blitzing from the cornerback, do like a swing to the cornerback side. So if they're doing the same blitz over and over again, let's say they're doing a blitz from the corner, do this route combination on the right. Send two guys deep, and then you have the flats open because they're blitzing a corner. So that's just some simple route combinations that you can do. So if you have a stacked wide receiver core, like my MUT team, I think I have 96 Randy Moss, 96 Torrey Holt, and 96 Amari Cooper. Thanks a lot to my dad. He grinds. He is a beast in Madden. So, thanks to him, my MUT team wide receivers are insane. So, yeah. So, if you have a pretty good wide receiver core, I would definitely recommend this play, because it has a lot of route combinations, and even if you don't have an exact route combination I said in this video, obviously I was able to create it by just doing some simple hot routes. So that's some tips on how to beat certain coverages, and also how to stop the post. It's really just run cover 3. If they're beating you with the post and streaks, I do recommend a cover 3. Cover 3 is pretty hard to beat. If you use it a linebacker and you use her well, they shouldn't be able to get anything off you. And if they do, they just have really good players, or they got lucky. So that's the video, guys. Drop a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you are new. Drop a comment if you have any questions. I will see you in the next one.